In this lesson, we're going to now take a look at drawing the nose forms and then taking those basic forms into dynamic forms. And then I'll also show you some shorthand tricks, if you wish, tips or tricks for drawing the nose very quickly based on the stylization that you're wanting to do. So when we start off, the basic form we want to have in our minds when we're drawing the nose is really a pyramidish type of shape, something like this, where we have kind of an indication of the bridge of the nose, the side plane of the nose, and then the bottom of the nose. And then to kind of add a very similar type of form to the side of it, where we have a triangular structure more like this, coming off the sides, giving us those nostril areas. Let's draw through here. Get that up there. It's a little bit off. Okay, and drawing these through, and I'm just going to draw through the entire form here. Just get that structure in, and drawing these triangular structures. Okay, weight this up so we can see what is in front and what is behind. Keeping it loose. And effectively, this is a good basic form understanding of the structure of the nose. Does run up slightly higher into the head and goes just into the brow region over here. But nevertheless, these kind of triangular structures are a good guide for us for just grasping the basic forms of the nose. Right. And when we take these basic forms and we add dynamism to them, we can start bending them in a directional way and adding curves. So here I'm going to bend it, add a curve. We'll keep the basic structure of that triangular structure. Curve this section, we'll curve this. Now we're turning it, it is in 3/4 view, so let's keep that in mind. It's 3/4 rotation, both of them are. And bending those triangular shapes. We'll have to kind of use our imaginations here and imagine where that might connect on the other side. Bend it, and get that bottom plane there. And you can see immediately, absolutely immediately, how this dynamic form looks more lifelike, right? By using our opposing curves theory. Curves that way, and then the front curves the opposite way, right, of that section of the form, etc. Right, so and now once again we have the front plane, bottom of the nose, side of the nose, and then the top of the nostrils, and then the nostril areas are down here. I'm just going to darken this up just to kind of enhance that. So really, it's what we've been doing all along, taking very basic building blocks, adding dynamism to them by bending the lines, giving them directionality, and you can see just the impact that that has, especially on the nose, and how much more lifelike the nose starts to seem when you do something like that. Let me show you some shorthand tricks. I'm going to show you two sort of shorthand tricks, tips, tricks. I don't know what you want to call them, shortcuts maybe, for drawing the nose. And the first one is, and you've seen me do this a lot, and it really is my go-to, I will start with an ellipse. If I'm drawing a 3/4 view, I'll draw an ellipse at an angle like this. If I'm doing a front view, I'll just do an ellipse like this. And for the front view, I really just add in a nostril here, add in a nostril here, sort of at this angle. And it kind of implies the bottom of the nose plane, helping you to kind of envision where you might place the bridge somewhere here to show the top plane, right? And then imply, you know, not explicitly state, but imply the side planes. So really that technique is just an ellipse to define the bottom of the nose plane, put in those nostrils, and most of the time you'll already get a good nose feeling from just doing this, right? From just doing this ellipse and these two nostril indications, let's say. All right. But from a side view, it's very much the same thing. It depends on the nose you want to do. You can do sort of very kind of pointy up noses. It depends how at the angle that you tilt the ellipse. But really, you draw the ellipse in, you draw the one nostril in, and then you darken the bottom of the ellipse here. And let's just copy this. Let's just copy this shape or this quick sketch, because I want to show you two different nose designs. And what you can do is, let's say you want to get a very kind of Disney-esque pixie type of nose or something like that. You can really just put in the bridge like that, and now you have the top plane, the side plane, the bottom plane. And if you want to add that extra detail, you can just put another line in to indicate top of the nose. And so this would be the bottom of the nose. Here's the nostril. And from this particular view, you can't see the far side nostril, but you could indicate it if you wanted to. It's just a little bit of a line. All right. So you can do that. And the reason I copied it here is you may want to do somewhat of a more masculine nose or more of a sticking out kind of nose, a pointier nose. So what you can do is just bend that in and then bring it up into the bridge. And it gives you more of a pointy out kind of nose. And so really you can manipulate these lines as you wish to get different nose sizes and different nose shapes. You know, you may want to do some kind of witch type of nose. So for example, I would then use those basic forms, kind of over proportion certain elements of them. And so here I'm going to over proportion the top plane, and I'm going to take this bottom plane like this, give her giant nostrils, which I'll just draw as holes here, kind of circular holes, and just get that, kind of still trying to feel that bottom plane out with the ellipse, get that feeling in, and maybe this is a witch's nose. It's like a giant witchly kind of nose shape. All right, and the second one I want to show you is just somewhat of a more Asian style. I shouldn't say Asian, I suppose that's too broad a term. More of a manga kind of manhwa style, but not all the time, because generally speaking in manga, a lot of the time they're not drawing the nose or they're putting a dot for the nose. But I have seen more Eastern styles to have a nose that is more of a bump and less of an ellipse. So even from a 3/4 view, they start with a circle, and then the shape would kind of wrap around like this. And you can see it's much more of a round type of nose. And you can really just add in extra detail if you want there like that. So pretty straightforward. And similarly, you can do the front view in the same way. And then you would just kind of pull the nostrils there. And it really helps imply that round shape of the nose. All right, so pretty straightforward. Those were some shorthand tips. That is the end of the nose lesson. Let's move on.